Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right, when we hear you.
Perfect, okay. Greetings, thank you for joining.
Oh, we're on a delay though.
Oh, that,
Uh-oh. Don't hear it. Right.
okay. What we have is we were listening to the YouTube.
It's like lip sync gone wrong.
We were listening to the YouTube, so let's go here. And we
Is
say,
Diane on too?
okay, okay.
Go faster.
Hold on. So we're gonna go here. Audio output. Kari, can you say something?
Yeah, I can hear you guys pretty well.
Perfect. Okay, great. Now we are good to go. So only a couple of quick fixes. Let me find my cursor and I will get the presentation pulled up.
Yeah. So she. Which is for her to leave early. On this out. I don't know. I should do something. We did a lot. Sense. Sorry.
And he is traveling for work.
All right. Kari, can you see the presentation?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I can see the not in presentation mode, but just the
Yeah,
deck.
I think I'm gonna forego presentation mode just because I don't want to spend the time to figure it out. If you can see it, just fine, and the folks here. Oh, wait, there we go. Never mind. It worked. Okay. Excellent.
No,
Well,
on the screen I see presenter mode. So I see your
mode.
the personal notes stuff, like the view that shows just the.
Got it. So let me fix that.
I'm like, are you on the Go team at
No,
anywhere else? Okay.
you can only serve at one.
No, you're good.
Just one.
Sorry.
I'll leave
That's
it.
it. All right.
Also, you end.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Well, Lindley, I will let you
Yeah.
lead pretty much until we get to CCRPI,
Okay.
and then I'll take it over.
Well, it's been the first students, Go team and on it.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order at 2:50 PM. And we will, Becky, if you will call roll. That'd be great.
Denise Branson. Addison Draper. Dohari Harris. Ari Brown.
Here.
Here.
Kayla Dees. Here. Becky Hecox. Alda Huff. What am I heard? Yeah. We have four. Alice Brookner. She's not here. Lindley Terrace.
Here.
And Stephanie Schumacher. Here.
Great.
Do we need to have a specific number?
We have two, but I think that's.
We have.
That's good. Okay. I think we're good, Katie.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Addison.
No, Addison's on.
We got, oh, I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah, we have plenty, more than enough. Okay, so you should have received your agenda via email. Does anybody have any changes they'd like to make to the agenda? Then can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to. I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Motion to approve.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approving the agenda. Great. You all should have received the minutes from the last meeting over email yesterday. Does anybody have any notes, corrections, or comments on the meeting minutes? Nope. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the previous minutes?
Motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, motion passed. And we will move on to our discussion item. And we will start with continuing the 2025 to 2030 school strategic plan development process. And as a lot of these slides you will find we went over at the last meeting, so we will just briefly go over a few of the slides as we move quickly through them since we have read them a few times before. I think it's several of the last couple of meetings. So the purpose of strategic planning is to cascade district strategic plans to the school level while grounding focus in the school's continuous improvement plan to create alignment, reduce confusion, and simplify efforts. School strategic goals and objectives should be updated, approved, and ranked by January 2026. Next. As we will revisit the APS 2025 to 2030 strategic plan, their focus are as a community of believers getting back to basics. And this slide we've seen several times, but they want us basically over the course of today to look at our goals and priorities and make sure they align with the APS overall goals and priorities. Slide. Oh, as we said, we look at our purpose, what we do, our picture, our results, our focus areas, and how it aligns with the overall APS.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
I don't know, so we know that superintendents come and go, and so, and back to basics is Johnson's like big wording, and so the strategic plan is supposed to go to be 2030, but how long does this like, I mean, potentially does a new superintendent come in and then they have a new thing, and then we don't redo the strategic plan, do we? Like, we just stick. How does that, sorry, how does that work?
The strategic plan, I believe, is in place through 2030.
No matter
regardless.
who ends up coming in,
Regardless,
and what they think is important.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there can be changes, I guess.
I
or
think
other-
it,
but-
yeah, I was gonna say, I think it is the strategic plan through 2030, so like it would have to be changed. Like it is, like what is going to happen is the plan through 2030. So like, if somebody wanted to reopen that, it would be a separate decision and a separate process that would have to happen. It's not like by virtue of a new superintendent that it would change. It would have to like be a process.
Right.
I will also be on record as saying that I don't like back to basics as a thing, but whatever.
I hear you. If I can provide context, I hear that, and I know it does feel a little bit like,
Stepping.
elemental, yes, or like, or, regressive, if you will, because we are trying to be innovative and develop curious learners. But something I've taken away and something that we are focusing on at Mary Lynn, which is a key component of Dr. Johnson's Back to Basic plan, is really focusing in on intentional instructional planning and utilizing like Webb's depth of knowledge and Bloom's taxonomy to really scaffold the work that we do with kids from, the very beginning and basic level of questioning and reasoning, and bring them all the way through to the most complex ways of thinking and questioning. And so as teachers, we kind of feel like that's back to the basics, because that is a very basic pedagogical tool that teachers are expected to use, is, focusing on Bloom's taxonomy, Webb's DOK, and like, really understanding the prompts that you're giving kids. So, just to let you know, like I've felt really good about that piece, because that is something that I have wanted to focus on here at Mary Lynn for the past year and a half. And so that component of the Back to Basics definitely aligns with what we're doing here at Mary Lynn. Not everything is relevant because of our demographics and test results, based on this kiddo's achievement and growth, but that piece is definitely relevant. So.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay if you're looking at APS as a whole to focus on reading, writing, and math.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, and to be clear, also, like, I am actually a fan of Dr. Johnson. That's not my point. I'm just like, as a like tagline for this, it's not my favorite, but I know that the way that we will do that and implement it, which is what we will be talking about, is going to be excellent and good for all of our kids. But yeah, sometimes
Stephanie
I
also
just,
contract right now is through June, and
Only this year.
I believe they renewed it for one more year, and I would imagine it will be renewed. He is well liked by the board.
Who won Brocker? I can never.
Great question. I don't know.
Actually,
Casey Brock.
She, okay.
I went,
Oh, let's see, really.
I went back and
Way
forth.
more qualified,
Yes, yes.
in my opinion.
In everybody's opinion I talked to, except for one person, it's interesting.
Well, I felt inspired by the fact that she was an educator. She
That
has
was met those candidates.
Not our area.
He did, it's somebody I
Other-
That's really all right. I'm very
Um,
interested that we will.
We can talk after.
Yes. I went here.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Recorded live. Okay, so now, let's see. The APS has asked us to review our data and align our mission and purpose with the APS mission and purposes. During this business meeting 3, you will see business meeting 3. That's where we are right now. So we went through the school in last meeting, we went through the school KPIs. We reviewed our mission, vision, and purpose and revised it. And now business meeting 3, we are identifying strategic objectives.
And this is what you just said. This is what you just said. Okay.
Okay, and this is once again, what we went over last meeting. The mission of Mary Lynn is to educate students through meaningful interdisciplinary experiences. Partnerships among all stakeholders will prepare our students to be caring, creative risk takers, enacting positive change within communities. Our vision is to foster students who are lifelong proactive learners. Our students will be clear communicators who use innovative problem solving to address the complex issues facing our community and world.
And this is the edited version, right? I believe we added community, right?
Yes.
The second portion.
And we changed the word to stakeholders.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the updated version.
Great.
Can we make updates or?
Yeah.
Can we just, to make it more succinct, like, the mission of Mary Lynn
Right.
is to educate our students through, this is my suggestion, through interdisciplinary experience, period. Meaningful partnerships will prepare our students, will develop our students into caring and
hit exit and just come on.
Oh, and yeah.
So basically you want to take out.
So
meaningful
you're changing,
and put it in
well,
front of partnership. That's change the meaning. It's not just a grammatical edit.
yeah,
You're either changing it from meaningful.
because I think
interdisciplinary
interdisciplinary is
versus meaningful
inter
partnerships. You're changing the adjective.
to meaningful
Partnerships versus meaningful experiences.
Well, because I think interdisciplinary implies meaningful, at least to me.
Um.
I think that if you just copy or like cut meaningful and put it right before partnerships, like that.
Yeah, I like the meaningful partnerships instead of saying partnerships among stakeholders. 'Cause
I
that's kind
like keeping stakeholders though, because we talked about, like, I know that was like, I like meaningful partnerships among all stakeholders, like to make it broader, like, and then just like to say like everyone who has an interest in this community, like all of us are stakeholders. So like, I like that. But I like moving it, the meaningful down makes sense to me. Like I would second that as a motion to change.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get it so that everyone can see my edits as I edit.
and, or I can't see it again. My glasses.
Or just want to maximize the window.
It's-
Okay, there we go. Addison, you can see
A
that?
user friendly format.
All right, can you see
I
that?
could see that, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry, it took me a second, okay, the mission of Mary Lynn Elementary is to educate our students through interdisciplinary.
Well, to
experiences.
Lindley's point though, if like you want to keep meaningful, maybe we switch out like meaningful with like
Impactful.
thoughtful or impactful. and then
Intentional,
Intentional, yeah,
I mean, that's one thing we've been talking about a lot.
Yeah.
Intentionality and lesson planning and data analysis.
intentional, and then I just, to me, among all stakeholders, partnerships, it just reads redundant, but if we really want to keep it, we can, but like meaningful partnerships among stakeholders.
Great, I love it, I'm okay with that, meaningful.
Sure.
Or look at us, doing grammatical edits, but not ChatGPT. Okay,
Right,
meaningful
all right.
partnerships among stakeholders.
To develop our students into,
But it's saying will, I think unless we restructure the whole sentence, like it needs to be like, we're saying that is the thing that will do a thing, like.
but we're saying meaningful partnerships among stakeholders in order to develop our students into
I know, but
caring.
then we need to have an actor put in there, like our focus on
support our
or
students
focus
in
like
becoming.
Yeah,
Really just
becoming,
the
yeah.
prepared-
support our-
creating meaningful partner.
Yeah, I like the word like becoming or develop, to speak to the developmental process that's taking place.
That sounds good. Meaningful partnerships among stakeholders to
Students.
support.
Our students into becoming, I guess.
Should we say?
Or is that too hard?
It should be supports, not
Yeah.
support. That's a.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Among
Our
stakeholders.
students.
Development into.
That's what I was about to say, that, yeah, I feel like development or something need to go in there somewhere. Meaningful partnerships among students. support.
Into caring and creative risk takers
Development.
who.
Add positive change within.
Wait, I thought it was going to, I forgot the camera's right here. Okay, meaningful partnerships. with
Meaningful
stakeholders.
partner.
Go ahead, Addison.
I like all stakeholders because it means that we're reaching out to the broader community, not just like which stakeholders is the question that seems left open there. But
If it's
Like-
all stakeholders, then doesn't that imply, unless we said, like, unless we name stakeholders, it implies all.
Okay.
You could put in parentheses like. Staff.
Okay, or we could just say.
But I do know what you're saying, like,
Yes.
unless you, yeah.
Unless-
it's fine. I can be, I'm fine with being like,
Yeah, I
we
like
could
the
take
name.
out stakeholders. Like, I like the part
Yeah,
that it's
I
not
like
just
the-
parents, students and
Yeah.
teachers, it's our entire community.
Sound like we're running a corporation.
Yeah, exactly, meaningful
Instead of
partnerships,
talking about kids.
exactly.
Support
Yeah, because it might not always be stakeholders. I think like some of the people
our
that come in.
students' development into caring creative figures who
Community.
enact. Okay, how do we feel about that?
Meaningful partnerships.
Mhm.
Support our students. Hold on. I
That's a
had
great
this.
placement of that,
Development
of that apostrophe, right?
into caring.
Students.
Yeah.
And then communities is there too. Okay, I'm good with this. Do we want, which is one vote, to be clear. Do we want it to be active in like Mary Lynn will
No,
create,
that's fine.
or like, do we
That's
want to
okay.
like, just like, or we're just saying that as a thing? Like meaningful partnerships do this? Do we want to say like that we're actually doing it, like in a way?
No.
I think for clarity, it's probably shorter.
That's fine. I'm good with it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's good.
All right, so
And then maybe in like, and this could just be me, but instead of enact, should we say create? Like who?
sure,
create
oh yeah,
positive
create
change?
a little bit
Within-
more kid friendly.
Yeah.
The only thing is you have creative for
Right,
stickers
that would be
and then
better.
you
Oh, yeah.
create.
Drive.
Oh, I like that.
Drive.
Drive.
We could also just go with like, drive is good. I was gonna say bring, yeah,
That's
yeah.
Talk about it within, and then I wonder if within their communities, if we say in the mission within their local and global communities, then in the vision section, it can also say facing our local and global communities, and then it kind of
Oh,
parallel.
I see, like the marrying the last sentence. of the
Yeah,
vision.
and then it's like a parallel.
Yeah.
community.
Actually, don't need there. You could just say within local and global
Yeah,
communities.
and then at that last sentence where it says facing our community.
I was gonna say, I like that it was can be both. I didn't, like, I like it within our community, but I like it can be better.
I-
Or we big.
I like their communities because it recognizes that the communities our children and the children of Mary Lynn have are not all the same. But I would stick with the original of within their communities,
Yeah.
but that's my view.
And I guess, right?
Then they wouldn't go. here.
No, I mean, that, I think that speak, like, if I think of local, I think of all Metro Atlanta, I don't just
Mhm.
think Mary.
That would be
like,
hybrid.
Yeah, like, it's, Chandler Park is so tiny, I think it's like. Yeah,
I don't know, yeah, I don't know, because I hear Addison, but I also like the idea that it wouldn't just be here, that like they
Exactly,
would think about the
exactly.
broader.
Yeah.
the broader local
Yeah.
community,
Of APS.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's up to interpretation with the community.
Yeah.
One of the lower grades.
I just think that for some kids, like their goal is to make their family better, and for some kids, their goal is to make the world better. And like leaving it open-ended that we're going to support the changes and drive them to be the type of people who make changes in whatever environment is important to them, whatever they feel their community is a more open-ended and inclusive message of that. I understand that local and global is very broad, but like giving some ownership to them of how they think about their communities, I think is also a noteworthy thing to have in a mission statement. But
How many children?
I don't have a problem with anything that's written here, how it is. I just think like there's something that's unique about saying
Mhm.
you get to decide where you're going to make the change. Like, what is the community that matters to you? And that is something that we could actually focus on as part of the mission.
Well, I will say that thinking about like more kid facing stuff, the most visible piece of our mission vision is actually our motto, which is
I would
we
say.
will be known by the problems we solve.
Mhm.
And so I wonder if that provides that agency that you're looking for, Addison, like on the children, that like it's their, you know, mission, you know what I mean? It's their charge to be known by the problems they solve.
Yeah, I
Right.
would agree with that, yeah.
That makes sense.
And I like too
You
the
okay with that?
idea of not like not having there, because I think like in the way, and correct me if I'm wrong, Addison, you're describing it, it's very kind of, I was gonna say focused on the student perspective, but if we think about the bidirectionality that's taking place in schools and like what the teacher might bring to the table and expand the student's idea of local, like that's why I just don't want it to be focused on like what, because if a student only sees Candler Park,
Mhm.
then that is gonna be their local, but if a teacher brings to light what's happening in the Weston, their local expands. So that's why I think not including there for this part, and then we have that mission and vision that encapsulates. What you're
Okay,
doing.
I'm going to like make one more proposal and then stop because am fine with this language. Would it be somewhere in between if it was within their communities and the world, or within and the larger like, and or like something else, like their communities and the world, or their communities and to better the world, or something like that? Like, so it was like there is a push to allow it to be broader than just what they know as their communities now, but like it also, I mean, I don't know, I'm also fine with that. I mean, but it's just the way that that first part of the sentence is structured, is that it's supporting our students' development, right? And like making it really focused on them, like to me is important, rather than imposing a view that like you have to think more broadly, which maybe we do want to, like that is also important, but like I think that people like have different drives and we should be open to supporting all of them, is my point.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm not making a motion on this, and I'm going to be fine with any of the language. I just want to throw that out as we like do this thing that is the thing that will be the mission statement for a while.
Appreciate, yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, so we got caught up here. Then I guess I just need to do this and start back with this, right? Can you see this still?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
I think that's good.
Me too.
Yeah, I really like that.
all right.
Paint that on the wall.
Okay, slide 12. Okay, okay. So the proposed goals from Mary Lynn for the 25 to 2030 strategic plan are up on your screen here and are as follows. By 2030, percentage of 3rd to 5th graders scoring proficient and above on GMAS math will increase by 8% from 85% to 93%. The subgroup goal, Black, will increase by 15.9% from 74.1 to 90, and SWD will increase by 15% from 50 to 65. Goal 2, by 2030, the percentage of 3rd graders scoring proficient and above on GMAS, EOG, ELA will increase by 17.2 from 69.8 to 87. Subgroup goal, Black, will increase by 14.6 from 70.4 to 85%. And SWD will increase by 15% from 50% to 65%. Those are big jumps.
Well, these are 2030 goals.
I know, I just am like, wow.
So they're over 5 years.
Yeah. No, I just like, wow, that's a lot of.
It's a 2030 goal, and just, I mean, you know, as we talked about last time, like, our goals at Mary Lynn are vastly different from the district goals, and we're asked to grow the same amount, right?
Right,
So like it's, you know, we're not, you know, trying to get as many kids into the develop out of the beginning level
Yeah.
range. That's just not the kids we have. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're trying to match, you know, quantitative changes, you know, with a different metric. So it's, there's a little bit of that.
Maybe
goal
we have pickier parents too, so, you know.
Exactly. Goal 3, by 2030, the percentage of favorable responses to supporting student success from the family engagement survey will increase by 3.8% from 86.2 to 90%. Here we will
Yep.
pause and take any thoughts, questions, or concerns about said 3 goals.
And I believe we talked about these last meeting, and the question was brought up about the lack of an economically disadvantaged subgroup, sub goal, I guess, sub goal embedded. And I did check, and we have less than 15 students in grades 3, 4, or 5 who qualify as economically disadvantaged, or at least we did on last year's milestones. And about 54% of those students, which if you think 54% of less than 15, it's not that many kiddos, but a little bit over half of them also fall into the Black African American and or SWD category. So just thinking about like, you know, subgroup data analysis and ensuring that the proper supports are in place to meet the needs of some learners who are from, you know, who have vulnerable, you know, who are experiencing vulnerability in their lives potentially. We are supporting the majority of those through those subgroup comparisons and, you know, individually as needed, whether they are part of the subgroup or not.
The only thing I see is just Black students, just says Black. So it's so weird reading it. Okay, I think it's
Subgroup goal, okay.
Black one.
I think they're talking about Jack Black, just like Jack Black.
The Blacks will get better.
Right, I love it.
It's hard, you know, I mean, a lot of people identify with different
Yeah.
labels, terms, you know, obviously, want to be mindful of the way that people want to be identified. You know?
And to put it in like, and this is just like my interest, like my history brain. It's like this idea of, because I know like mixed is a subgroup, but for the longest time, remember the 1-drop rule of like
Right.
in society.
Black-
Yeah.
Can we
If
make
you-
that possessive, like Black students, like
No.
apostrophe as well, or Black,
No,
like,
the plural.
third?
But that's incorrect, no, it's a plural noun.
Yeah, it's plural. It's not. There's
Right.
not supposed to be.
There's no
I mean,
possessiveness,
really,
right?
Hold on.
Black
The
students.
percentage of 3rd to 5th graders scoring proficient and above
I
will
just wanna-
increase by
You
8%.
need a noun or the adjective capital B. But you don't.
I can say the subgroup of Black students will increase
Sure.
and the
Black students what?
group.
What are you saying? Are you reading the subgroups of Black
Yeah, yeah.
students?
The subgroup of Black students will increase by 15.9%.
Their will increase.
Of students score, or the subgroup scores of Black students will, like, there's nothing like, it's like, it reads like you're saying we'll have more Black students.
This is what it means. What it means is the subgroup of Black students who score proficient on the EOG.
Or below.
Who's
Right, is it-
or above,
or
proficient
above.
or above, so proficient plus. It's just, you know. Or proficient plus on the EOG. That's what it means. The subgroup of Black students who score proficient plus on the EOG will increase by 15%. And the subgroup of SW.
Oh, because it has to be within that
Okay.
74.1
Yeah.
and 90, okay.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't just completely misreading that, but yes, I get
Nope.
that we all knew what we were talking about. I just,
More clear now for you, Addison?
yeah.
Okay, the subgroup of Black students who score proficient plus on the EOG will increase by 14.6% and the subgroup. SWG. Who score proficient plus will increase. There you go. Okay. Clear?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
I have a question, not about the wording, but about the precise numbers. So I just want to understand what could be a barrier for us as a school and as a Go team to like not have SWD also get to 90%. Why are we stopping at 65? I'm assuming, like, I understand it's a giant jump, but what are the actual challenges that stop us from doing that?
That's a great question. So students with disabilities, the ability levels and actual working levels of the students range greatly. There are some students who have an IEP and I'm going to actually talk about this a little bit more when I talk about our CCRPI score. So there are students who qualify as SWD and all they have is like speech services. And so their IQ might be average, above average, high average, you know, it's very dependent on their specific learning disability. We also have students who have IEPs on the opposite end of the spectrum who have mild to moderate intellectual disabilities, specific learning disabilities, and IQs that are in the low to non-functioning range. And students, we are still teaching them, we are still growing them, we are still focusing on their needs, and they are performing within the you know, the expected level of performance based on their IQ. So there are some barriers to getting 90, 100% of our kiddos and with disabilities to get proficient and above.
No, thank you for explaining. Just also like, because the 65% number seemed like it's 2/3. So like, why are we stopping at 2/3?
Yeah.
And given the challenges or barriers you mentioned, even that might not be possible, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And it at Mary Lynn, traditionally, we've had about exactly a subgroup of students with disabilities in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades combined. So about 15 students or less. I really can't think of a year that I know that we had maybe more than 18 students in grades 3, 4, and 5. So every year when we're talking about this metric, yeah, we're talking about 2/3, but it's generally 2/3 of 15. So we're talking about a very small number of children. And obviously percentages are percentages and ratios are ratios, but I mean, it is different when you're talking about 65% of 15 kids versus 65% of 150 kids. So that is something
All
to
of
think
whom
about.
have like varying disabilities too, like.
Yeah, and the varying disabilities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And some may not need the stress and pressure of scoring a certain way.
Developing is
These
happening,
random
you know what I
tests that
mean?
yes.
And developing is the goal for some students, and that is
Right.
great.
For
And
some
they're
students,
growing.
developing is something that they should celebrate and be extremely proud of.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're
Right.
still compared on
Why
the same
no need to
standardized
shame
scales.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
scoring a certain way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know like this is again kind of going off track, but in that case, should this subgroup have a different metric that we should aim for instead of the standard metric we are using for other groups, subgroup? Like,
Maybe,
sorry,
but
please.
well, I was just gonna say, I love where your head's at, and we do have different like internal goals for students specifically based on their IEPs and their IEP goals and objectives. You know, those things are tracked with fidelity per federal guidelines. But one thing I will say is that the reason we're choosing to measure SWD metric using the EOG scores is because we have a KPI associated with it.
Yeah.
So the district has established these KPIs and the district utilizes these resources. So we have to, if at a later time we want to, you know, add something on, we could, but that's kind of why, because I agree. I mean, talking about 15 kids, it's not really,
And over 5 years, you're talking about 15 different kids.
15 different kids.
Right.
Every year, I mean,
Right.
because it's just 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So
Right.
every year you've got 5th graders who leave And you've got third graders who come on, so it's like it's a lot of turnover in that subgroup.
Yeah, no, thank you. This is off, I went off on a tangent. Thank you for explaining.
No, of course, no, I mean, ask away, yeah, no.
I also want to thank everybody for bearing with me, especially when I'm on Zoom, because I am not in a particularly prickly mood today or anything, but I do think we did make improvement from just saying black will increase to 15. But so I think we are doing, but thank you for bearing with me, and it's not intentional.
No worries, Addison, we got you. That sound was my phone. It rings on my computer when it rings. So, somebody, it looked like from like the Fayette County Board of Education was just calling me, so I can't wait to hear us what that was about. On my caller ID.
Man,
Oh, sweet.
right. Well,
All right. So I think this is where,
Oh, it's fine.
well, this is where we were. We already
Okay.
saw this.
Correct. They
Mhm.
repeated it in the,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then, yeah.
Okay. Now they wanted us to reflect on the things we just read and stop and reread them and then continue on. And this is where it got a little confusing what they were trying to ask us to do, to be honest.
Yes.
So using the new strategic goals that we created at the last meeting, they want us to complete a start, stop, and continue exercise to review the current strategic priorities and identify our strategic objectives,
So those priorities were right here on that old strategic plan, if you're familiar.
right? And if they're a little bit bigger on the next slide, yeah.
Oh, very good.
And
So-
we've read these several times
Several
over
times,
the last several months.
So these are those priorities.
Okay.
These goals up here are now different, right? These were our goals previously. Now these
Right.
goals are going to be replaced with the goals we just discussed. All right, and then what we're doing here is doing these priorities. So it's these guys right here.
Right.
So
And it's basically looking at them and seeing if there's any that we need to shift, any we need to.
I need to keep typing, I'm sure. Once we get to this, so-
Anything we've left out, anything that's no longer aligned with our mission or goal, keeping in mind that the mission and vision is what we just discussed. There's a lot of like flipping back and forth starting this section for some, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, as we all are familiar with the stop, start, continue protocol, I mean, it's a protocol, right? So I mean, I think that if I took all of them and kind of put them in a list. This is where we're supposed to kind of like edit them. So I figured we could just kind of take a look at them each one by one and decide if it was a strategic objectives that we would like to stop, start, or continue. Easiest.
yes.
And then once we decide on these, we have to figure out which buckets they're gonna go into under these new domains. Whereas previously they were in these 4 buckets. And now we have to put them
Now
into these
it's
buckets.
3 bucks, 6 buckets.
Six,
buckets.
two.
Big
Basics,
buckets
believers,
and-
and then 3, yeah.
3 little buckets.
So. Use data to inform instruction with a focus on both achievement and growth. We're doing that.
Yeah, I think we should keep it. I actually think it might be more efficient to now go ahead and pick a bucket to put it in.
Yeah, while we're doing it.
I think that sounds
Yeah.
very efficient. We're gonna control X that. Let's see. Okay. Right here.
Yeah,
Straight
it
to-
is.
A lot of words into these small boxes.
So I'm assuming every school's looks like this, and then we're dropping our specific things. And
Yes.
and do you have to have something under little bit under every category?
I think they're hoping that
Okay.
people have things under
Do
everything.
some people have lots?
No idea.
You can't
I've
see
only
anybody.
seen Sparks.
I mean, I
I
can't.
haven't looked at anybody else's. And I only looked at Sparks because I don't know if I understood
And I
this
wouldn't-
game when they first sent it. Okay,
And here are the scope and sequence of the Georgia standards.
that seems like we would want to keep that.
Mm.
Excellent and supplement with team center resources.
Yeah.
Yep. I know that. Yes, we're gonna cut that one. I think that probably also goes under.
Mm-hmm.
Instructional form. Although also it's team, right? We're working on our
I
team.
actually think it goes under Sparky, well,
Yes.
I think you are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put one under there. We want to make sure we have one.
Yeah, I would think if you're talking, unless you have a more
But I
specific
also
team.
agree.
thing on there.
Yeah, no, always come back every year.
You know, we got, we
Alright.
get it.
Okay, now this is, if you'll think about this one,
Oh, that
this,
goes
this
with
next
that
one was
goal.
technically under this building a culture of student support previously. And it says create collaborative school culture that embraces diverse families that comprise MLE community.
Do we have diverse culture?
I think we're working on highlighting the ways that we're diverse that don't have to do with skin color. Like, I feel like how like Spark has like their cultural, I forget what they call it, international night, and then like
Okay.
Miss Backus, I think, does a really good job
She
at
does.
like the concert.
Exposing.
But I,
yeah, exposure to other
yes,
cultures.
we don't have, it's not like there. We are lately gotten a lot of students that are coming from different countries, so maybe
That's
like
right.
trying
I know
to
what you're
highlight
doing.
that. I
Right.
don't know.
Did you create, are we able to change words in here or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe create inclusive,
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
and then that will cover all of the
Right.
And I think
categories.
There's something, and I say this all the time, I personally think culturally relevant teaching is really for white
Mhm.
students rather than like, a lot of times students of colors are aware of other cultures
Mhm.
because they have to be. And so I think like, how can we phrase it where it's like, it doesn't matter if diverse, like different racial or ethnic
Right.
or nationalities are in the school, how
We
can we
still have to teach them.
yeah,
that
how
there
can we
have been
learn
people
about
that
her?
don't look like you exist in this world
And
and we have to
matter.
work together.
Yeah.
Yes, so I don't know how to rephrase
Make
that
the
to
change.
get there.
Yeah.
Do you think
Create inclusive
inclusive?
school culture.
Yeah.
That
Is
cele-
this on part one? Like this one?
Yeah,
Um,
no.
What
well,
if we
this one-
just said that embraces diversity, period?
is diversity within the community, but
Oh.
Or just
almost
like
Diversity.
diversity.
I actually like that better because maybe it's not within the community, but we're
Right.
teaching about
Yeah.
other things like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Places
And
diversity.
teaches.
about people
Empathy.
different than us. I don't know. Yeah, empathy. Yeah, or
Embraces
like
diversity
social
and
justice.
celebrates difference
celebrates differences.
celebrate acceptance.
And
Yeah.
and celebrates or
Teaches acceptance.
Tolerance gets thrown in there, but I don't love that
I
word.
don't like tolerance. No.
what did they change their name for? Learning for Justice.
Yeah. like,
Create an inclusive school environment that embraces diversity, celebrates
Differences.
difference.
Or how about
differences,
fosters inclusion?
Just curiosity about.
No, I don't like fostering for.
fosters
Yeah.
Fosters understanding?
No, because it's something about you want it to be inclusive. Like I feel like inclusion has to be in there because then otherwise it's just you're learning about it to
I
learn
think,
about
I
it.
think that
You
the
know,
label of inclusive
yeah.
stuck on school culture is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe we could say it's like celebrates differences and works towards a fair society, something where it's like, we can say justice without using the word justice,
Working
like
toward a,
fair
more
society.
equitable, just.
Equitable, I don't know, I don't
It's safe
say,
place for all. Working towards a safe space for
working toward
comfort.
that,
There's
that embraces
inclusive school
diversity,
culture.
celebrates differences and works to build a fair world for everyone.
Maybe that just highlights and celebrates.
What if everything we're doing is embracing? So embraces diversity, inclusion, and fairness.
Yeah.
All right.
Embraces diversity.
Wait, I don't, like, is it the word embrace or should it be a different word?
I think.
Values, teaches.
Values are teachers because.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we are a school.
Lines of like.
Fosters.
You learn about other people's
Yeah.
cultures. That doesn't mean that then like you're changing what
Yeah.
you're doing. It's more like noticing that there are these different things and celebrating
Right,
and not being
educating
mad
kids.
about the fact that
Right.
people might do something different. than you.
I like this. It teaches the positive impact of is good. Because it's both putting the focus on the teachers and
Yeah.
on the impact, like the instruction and the result.
Diversity celebrates differences.
How to create fair, I'm trying to incorporate the justice, because diversity without justice.
And
So what
create-
about just like diversity, differences, and inclusion, or diversity, justice, and inclusion? The
Yeah.
positive impact of diversity, justice, and inclusion.
And I feel like inclusion and fairness.
If we have
Yeah.
inclusive at the beginning, having inclusion at the end
Mhm.
feels redundant.
Mhm.
Positive impact of diversity celebrates differences and
Well, that's kind of the positive impact of diversity and celebrates differences are kind of the same.
mhm.
But can you just leave it that teaches the positive impact of diversity?
Yes.
I think so. Yes.
Well, but could you say
Okay.
create an inclusive, just school culture? Cause yeah, to me,
Create an
inclusive
inclusive
means like
school
everybody's
culture.
welcome. I'm just trying to get to like, that's what equity is, you know, it's about
Well,
creating.
maybe teaches the positive impact of diversity and equity, and that's
And
and that's
can the
just
district say equity? Like,
Yes.
I'm not allowed to say the word equity at my job anymore.
You are not at all.
No.
well, equity is through everything.
That's-
All the training, everything, equity's in there.
Okay,
so
well, yeah.
That's maybe shared.
We are
Yeah.
caring for every child.
We are
right
caring
there.
for every
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, APS doesn't.
I think equity or justice would both be what we're
Me-
talking about, and whatever you guys think is the best word to use, like justice or equity, like we could use.
Positive impact of diversity, equity, and justice.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what I
Yeah.
was, diversity,
Um,
equity. Yeah, and justice. I like that, right?
Yeah.
We feel good about that?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay, next, build teacher capability to meet, oh. That's kind of like what we just said.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's
Mhm.
repetitive.
Well, but I wonder if we really want to be specific about social emotional learning, like,
No, yeah.
you know, so and then that affords the ability for like PD for SEL.
Right, but we have social emotional learning
is that
two
what-
down.
Oh, so then maybe combine those two.
Right. Or maybe we could just wait on that.
Build teacher efficiency.
No, well, it's really should be build teacher capacity.
Oh, okay. That's what I'd say. Capability. Something about capability
Prioritize
that
students'
really.
social and
Yeah.
emotional growth as a means of ensuring future success
Through building teacher or wall building.
by building teacher
Mhm.
capacity to,
Mhm.
just by building teacher capacity.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Mhm. And then put that one
In
in
the-
the bucket.
Caring for every child.
Right here too, right?
Yeah.
When we say capacity
Yeah.
there, in what,
all can be strengthened in our team.
Yeah, the strength is our team.
I feel like too, it
Yeah.
could be in the instructional core, because when kids have good SEL, then they do better academically.
Exactly.
So it can
We're
really.
gonna have one in each.
Right, so we'll see where we, yeah, and then we
Because
can.
that's
put
not
it-
going to go and block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, provide.
what does the word capacity mean in that sentence? Sorry.
So like
like-
build teacher capacity, that's what because like your capacity as a teacher is like all of the knowledge that you have in your brain and the pedagogical.
Okay, it's not like a staffing related capacity, like, I mean,
No,
what
it's
is it?
your-
I mean,
Internal knowledge and brain capacity to do your job well.
okay,
Okay, providing and learning
yes, all
opportunities.
for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Great teachers, yes. Like,
Um,
I mean, I thought it was so
Yeah.
funny that they added this bucket because I knew we had something about
Right.
literally curiosity in our goals already.
great.
Great. Equitably align school resources with MLE. Yep, still doing that.
Yeah,
Where would that go?
yeah, efficiency, that's like a budget thing.
I agree. And does take a lot of thought
Right.
and efficient budgetary measures and effective measures.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Because that's talking about aligning school resources.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Implement a plan to improve instructional practices in STEAM. That's interesting.
Are you still doing that?
Wait.
I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, as our like our STEAM certification process is basically
Right.
one big plan to make sure that we are constantly in a cycle improving our instructional practices, but that's kind of not, that doesn't really have an end goal, you know, it's more
Right.
cyclical, like, right, like we're, you know, assessing, we're journaling, we're reflecting, we're making changes, and we're doing better next time, like that process isn't gonna stop at any point.
Can
I
the
think that's fine.
1 and 2 kind of be combined in that way? To where
Oh.
you're choosing specific things to use with the.
In
end goal
order
of
to
continuing to
implement.
improve.
I would just say implement instructional best practices is what we're trying to do, right? It's like we're trying to implement this instructional best practices. It's not like an endpoint where there's a plan that like is complete at the end.
Mhm.
Right.
It's more like it's like a constant thing. So choosing STEAM
Maybe, so, did you want
But
curriculum?
implement sounds like we're starting it, and we're not starting it. We've been doing it. Like, continue implementation or like drive, or like something about like we are doing that already. I guess implement sounds like put in place. Like,
choose STEAM based and multidisciplinary curricular. Really, they should say instructional resources because the curriculum are
Yeah.
sources to
Something with growing or developing the best practices. So like choose STEAM-based
Resources.
instructional resources to develop instructional best practices in STEAM or enhance, maybe.
continue developing.
Yeah.
Continue.
or to continue development of. Instructional best practices or some, or, yeah.
Yeah. The development of best practices.
And then get rid of in STEAM at the end,
Right.
because
Development, you use that for teachers to continue, I don't.
Yeah, I like that. Choose STEAM-based
The
and
implementation.
multidisciplinary instructional resources to
Provide on.
supplement, it's like
Yeah.
to make sure that we're using the best practices in STEAM. Right, like we're using.
Are we
Because my
using it or
question is,
developing? it?
This goal for teachers or students, where's this fall under? 'Cause
This
I
goal
think
is
that's
for-
Staff.
okay, I need to go back on the other thing where, what,
This would be saying that us as a school leadership team, when we come together and decide what instructional resources we will be using as a school, we need to make sure that in some way they are STEAM-based or multidisciplinary in order to meet this goal.
What
Which is
about,
something we
what
do.
if we do to provide ongoing support of best practices? In STEAM.
What was the previous goal we just had related to STEAM?
It combines budgeting.
Budgeting was STEM,
Yeah.
okay, or STEAM, sorry, and now this is about, this fall under the budgeting?
ongoing. How about ongoing, how about some support of best practices in curriculum development? So like we are choosing STEAM because STEAM makes our curriculum better.
Yes, that's correct.
Best practices in curriculum development or in curriculum development and
But this is
learning.
But isn't this focusing solely on what the STEAM part? It's not focusing on the broad, like all the curriculum. This is focusing just on the STEAM piece of it.
I know, and we've also had discussions around the fact that the way we implement STEAM is not focused on just driving them to particular disciplines. It's about like ways of thinking about things. Like, I mean, that's
That-
fine, but
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Best
Mhm.
practice. And really, here's the thing, best practices in STEAM are
Right.
best practices in teaching, like
Mhm.
they're not.
Yeah,
they're the same. So we could just say supported best practices in teaching and learning, I mean. we don't
Yeah,
have to say
that's
that.
fine.
maybe.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Because even with
also
like counseling, we.
really what it is like
Right.
real world problem solving. You can take
Right.
STEAM out of it.
Yeah.
It's just like basically preparing kids.
Like,
How do
like,
I actually think-
and I know that was raised in a prior meeting too, like that it is like the way that we talk about STEAM should be inclusive of all sorts of elementary school interests that could come up, so.
Yeah, that's good right there, Denise. I like
I
that.
like the idea of taking the STEAM out and just like best practices and
Mhm.
project-based real world application. I wonder too, and this could be a separate, instructional goal, but I wonder if it also falls under STEAM. Is this just idea of, if we're thinking about this moment in time we're living in, building kids like civic capacities and like critical thinking skills? And so with that, because I know there's like overlap between STEAM and that, but then I
Yeah.
also feel like if we're thinking about funding sources and like, could you say send an elementary school teacher to a civics focused civics focused conference
Yeah.
in elementary education? Would that fall under STEAM, or would we need our own priority line? You know
I
what I'm
would say it would
saying?
fall under STEAM, and I think maybe Stephanie can speak more to this about how our school-wide goal is centered around sustainability and making our community happier and healthier by making sustainable choices and making. I mean, I think that a lot
Which can
of our,
also go back to, I mean, yes,
it's about solving problems for your community. really.
yeah,
And
but
that
actually,
kind
you
of
could
go
spin
back
it to be a
civics.
civics.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that's the thing too, of like, to
Make sure. it's
Addison's point, like,
incorporated.
what can this, how does STEAM, and maybe that's part of the training with teachers, like, what does STEAM look like in social studies in 4th grade? You know, because I think it often is treated like a science.
Well, I mean, what we could say is just take out STEAM base, so you say
That's what I'm wondering, if you take out that STEAM, I don't know that you need that.
Yeah, I like that, interdisciplinary.
and support our journey towards STEAM certification, or like.
That
support.
I mean, yeah, you could say that, support our dream.
Yeah,
towards
I
unification,
think that's
or
right. Like, we want that in there because that's the goal, is to get STEAM certification. So like it should, like, and everything that means for us and the way that we do things. But like, I do think that I like this addition, like, but putting it at the end, like all of that is supporting the things we're doing. But
Yeah, you don't, that part. Yeah, that's it.
What's a better word than support,
um,
or is support?
I think that's okay.
advance,
oh, like the total, yeah.
Advances.
advance, continue.
Advance, but if you have advanced like us towards, or advance
Yeah.
towards STEAM certification.
Advanced Mary Lynn's STEAM certification.
Okay.
Or whatever works in that, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think this is good. I mean,
Yeah,
I just.
So that way you don't have to continue to.
Oh, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Incorporate the
I
principles.
think it has to be a which instead of that.
Which incorporate.
The preposition has to be which, W-H-I.
No,
Yeah.
make that
Instead of
says that
that.
stressed.
And I think too, if we think about how in 3rd through 5th grade, the students, it becomes departmentalized, like making sure the humanities teachers, they have a pathway to access the different resources that
Oh, yeah. no,
could be
totally.
attached
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, we talk a lot. I mean, we really talk a lot about this in writing.
Yeah.
Like we talk about writing interdisciplinarily all the time, and that is
Yeah.
like a really great way to connect ELA and what humanities teachers
Yeah.
are doing with the
Yeah.
EVP. right?
Yeah. And history, 'cause democracy's in peril, you guys, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over here. Okay, we can
Tell you, I'm trying to warn you.
Right.
Hilarious.
That's being warned.
Yeah,
Past that point.
An environment that retains, empowers, motivates, and inspires teachers to
I like that. I don't think you need to touch that at all.
okay. And
See if we can put in one of the categories that only has, yeah.
Our responsibility.
Yeah, put it in that
Yep.
one.
Perfect. Look at the S filling off, checking all the boxes.
Instead of provide, so it's something that's given, how can we say something that's like we work
Encourage.
together to create?
Collaborate.
Create. I like create. Cultivate.
Oh, cultivated.
I love that.
Thank you. That one I came up with on my own.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think the last one is repetitive.
It is.
Says Design a learning environment. that
Yeah.
fosters- So that goes back.
They don't need
we
it.
kind of covered that with
Do we
this.
have
This
something
one we
everywhere?
just did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great.
Ooh,
Looking good.
love it.
Do you like have do you turn this in as like a presentation?
Don't know.
Oh, okay.
We'll see what.
Because you haven't done this, you haven't done this before.
We
'cause
have
it's
not.
been 5 years,
So-
so we got it.
In theory, Diane gets these back from every school.
Yeah,
Well, like.
That's the lady, the Doteens lady.
Yes, and actually.
Okay.
Well, less now with all.
That makes so much sense. I
I
get an email from her. I heard you say on YouTube that I was there. We're beyond 5 years.
Sticking shit about me.
I guess that's it, because this is the same thing, I just put them on the other side, this is just.
Correct.
Where we go?
Great. At our next meeting,
Oh.
we'll vote on what we just talked about. No, we have a couple more things. No, this is good. This is on track. We'll rank the strategic objectives we just discussed, and then we will also discuss budget.
Why do we rank them? Like which ones we're focusing on?
Because when I get to the table with budget,
We have
I
to.
have to justify my things, and they want, last year, we had to actually like put on the budget.
Where
For
we
example,
go.
for signature programming, we had to justify why we wanted those funds, I mean, I don't go back to.
Help yourself.
They're good.
And they create better.
Yeah,
And I'm
oh,
like,
and
oh,
let
no.
myself or Denise
Oh,
know if there's any
One
additional.
question
Yeah.
about the previous
Yeah.
one. So in the next meeting, we would be voting on this. In the intermediate stage, is the principal going to get any feedback on this from the district, or like what's stopping us to vote on it now? Or is there community feedback that we are waiting on this plan? Like what are some intermediate steps that might be happening between the next meeting and this?
I'm sure there will be behind the scenes work. I don't know if we will directly meet to discuss, but I'm sure basically the reason that they are putting it off is because they want to go back and check everyone's before we vote.
To make sure everybody did it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Okay.
I think it's.
I would guess too, like, it might also involve the, like, public meeting format of this, and that, like, were there to be feedback?
Technically, we didn't notify the community that we were voting on our strategic plan today, and if we didn't notify, we're non-compliant, so it's probably also that too.
Yeah, there might be tens of listeners who watch these.
Listener.
Dozen. Okay, so. Questions other than that? All right, well, I have one item to discuss today, and it is our 2025 CCRPI data. Has anyone taken a look yet?
Mhm.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Why is there CCRPI for elementary school kids?
They have it
Isn't
for
that a bit-
That's a big question. Well, you'd have to ask the state board of education. Don't know why. I'll explain why. George W. Bush, No Child Left Behind. That's-
Yes,
That's why, because
yes.
because of the space race. We're going back real hard, right?
Yeah.
That's also why we have school counselors.
Be-
School
be-
board.
because there is, like, because there
Yeah.
is, and therefore we will look at it.
Have a way to discriminate against somebody. It's America. Come on. All right.
You're on video.
Everybody's forgetting.
For all our tens of listeners.
Also, opinions are right. All right, so this is all publicly available. This is the actual
Yeah, I'm
public
looking at
facing
it.
website for CCRPI. Just Google Georgia CCRPI. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, you can do lots of data on any school in the state of Georgia. Our 2025 CCRPI data is largely very similar to what it was last year. If you'll see here, this is just our demographics. These are the 4 components, which I'm going to go through here now. They have not released single scores yet. Used to be like CCRPI had an overall score, but they've shifted to GOSA single scores. GOSA is the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. We have self-calculated ours. Obviously, it's not official and has not come out from the state yet, but we believe that ours will be around 95.5, which is a little bit of a deduction. Last year, we were at 99.1, which was like a really, really high score. So obviously difficult to maintain, especially with that changing SWD subgroup, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit. So let's go through these 4 components. The 4 components are content mastery, progress, closing gaps, and readiness. So we'll get started with content mastery. This is just that proficient, that developing mark. You either, if you're developing, you pass. All right. If you're proficient, you did really well. If you're distinguished, you get extra points. All right, so that's what this is measuring.
Denise, are you sharing like a website or it's
Oh,
all this
I
on the
would-
slide deck?
Yep, let me see.
Yeah, you're still in the editing mode, I think is or maybe rather than
Like,
just,
maybe you click through that link and that opened a browser, but we only see your slide deck right now on the screen. Okay, now we see your
Okay, sorry about that.
thank you.
This is all I've gone over, content mastery, progress, closing gaps, readiness. You can pull this up on your computer if you want, just Google CCRPI, Georgia DOE, and then search for Mary Lynn. So content mastery, there was no change in our score. We were at 100 and we're still at 100. These are the levels that our students achieved in our overall student population and in the subgroups that we have.
But this is just 3 through 5th.
This is just for fourth and fifth graders, and this is just based on the one test in spring of 2025. So this is just EOG, just 2025, just last year's third, fourth, and fifth graders. So in ELA, you can see that our Hispanic students outperformed everybody.
That's
About 68, almost 69% of our Hispanic students are students who identify as Hispanic, were in distinguished learners and above, or in distinguished learners, which is great for ELA. We don't have economically disadvantaged, we don't have English learners. This is that students with disability category that I was talking about. Okay, so obviously we have a goal to grow the number of kiddos who qualify as students with disabilities in getting proficient above. 40% feels like a lot.
Mhm.
Our in was 15.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was actually not supposed to be 15. So the Go team does not know this because I haven't told you yet, but I went through a very long and arduous process with both our district representatives and representatives from the state about a kiddo who is counted as an SWD. That child was not an SWD at our school. They did not receive any special ed services through the year. Their parents revoked services. But based on a technicality, they are counted. So if that child was not counted, like they should have been, they didn't get any special ed services at our school the whole year. Okay. And our plea, really, my plea by way of the district's chief data performance officer, she's the one who lobbied the state to change actually the rule. Because the rule is if the child is enrolled in your school for 1 day, they are counted as an SWD. So what happened was the parents requested to revoke services prior to the school year started. The barrier here is that we can't generate even a form for them to sign to revoke services until the child populates in our system. The child was returning to our school district and did not populate in the system. So we couldn't actually even provide them the documentation to sign until he was enrolled. So it was like kind of like a lose-lose situation. There's really nothing that we could have done for the state, which is really frustrating because I think that it gives the wrong impression that we had 15 children that we were working really hard on their IEP goals and objectives all year. We were trying to have them meet their goals. That's not the case. We did not have 15 kids that actually got selected. I was going to go in and I threatened a lot and said that I was going to get my Go team on them. And I mean, and you guys let me know, I think that it would be an incredible amount of work to actually lobby the State Board of Education to change the rule. And I just think that our work can be better spent helping our kids and not, I mean, I am definitely one to like stick it to the man and be like, this is wrong for so many reasons, because it is, but like, there's only 24 hours in the day. And what's more important for me is what we got.
And the death of democracy.
Now, who actually decides this? Is it the State Board of Education, like the executive branch State Board of Education that sets the rule?
Sets the rules, yes.
So do you just
And
call
it's a rule, right?
it?
Like it's not legislation, it's a rule passed by the State Board of Education.
Correct. It is not legislation.
I'm just curious for.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay.
Okay, so this was ELA. Here's math. We also had some really great performance, content mastery wise in math. Subgroups, very similar performance to the majority group, which is our white students. Almost exact same breakdown for students with disabilities on the content mastery. Once again, this is just, are you proficient, right? Or not. So this is proficient, I'm sorry, this is developing, this is proficient, this is distinguished, and then this is beginning. So these would be considered kiddos who did not pass. Science, we don't really have any subgroups because science is 5th grade only, and we don't really have 15 kids in 5th grade.
And it's just another reflection how we don't care about democracy because clearly social studies.
You can
My only
say
point.
that again.
We're gonna have robots taking over.
So there's science. Okay. So this is a view of our flags. So each year we have a target to meet. And if we meet the target, we get a green flag. If we did not meet the target, we get a red flag. So this is why I was going to go because due to the rule that we are being held to and the creation of a subgroup that we weren't supposed to have, that is why our CCRP has gone down. It is literally that one kid.
Will you like, for your sake, what kind of headache does that cause from will people be like, what happened? No, it's not.
No, this happened a couple years ago. Did you talk to Mary about this?
I
And I
haven't.
had a student with a discipline issue
Okay.
and the CCRPR score went down because of one particular student.
It's so important to like disaggregate. the-
Oh.
You can see.
I know what you're talking about that I didn't think about the CCRP.
Mhm. Cause they had, it was, I can't remember what the discipline issues were, but it was one student who had several incidents.
Sure.
And then it impacted the CCRPR.
Yeah, that happens, yeah.
That 15 number, is that for any school of any size?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting, just because we're relatively a smaller school compared to a school that has 2,000 elementary
It is,
students, it's
yeah.
still 15.
It is. And it's
For
15.
a high school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
15.
Feels,
It seems small,
Yeah.
honestly, if you're talking about 2,000 students, you know?
Right.
It's also one of those things that's telling that like how data can be like so skewed too. Like,
Well,
right,
you can
all of
make-
these
it can
things
make
are
a
so
picture,
like. We spend so much time talking about it, but it's like really one point in one day and one thing that like,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. And then here's math, exactly the same. The only target we did not meet was our SWD subgroup target. And then science, we don't have this. This is one grade. So that was just performance, content mastery wise. Now we're talking about progress. This is that growth, all right? So progress, we went down a tiny bit. I guess we had 99 last year. Now we have 95. Progress is growth. Love to show this. So in ELA, and I'm just actually going to go to, where's my slides? Oh, they're on the next one. Okay, sorry. So this is growth. Our Black student subgroup, 50% of these students grew at level 4, which is more than our white students,
That's great.
which is awesome.
Mhm.
Close the gaps, right?
Mhm.
And that's an ELA. And the reason you might be wondering, why aren't those other subgroups here, right? I thought we had a Hispanic, we had a multiracial.
They graduated.
It's because,
It's less than
no, it's because you can only calculate growth if that student has an EOG score from the year before and an EOG score
Yeah.
from this year. So this is telling us that we had students in the Hispanic and multiracial subgroup who tested with us at Mary Lynn last spring, who did not take an EOG in 4th grade.
Yeah.
So they either moved here, opted out, were at private school, I mean,
Right.
whatever it was. So that's why you don't see those subgroups. Same with math, our Black subgroup outgrew our white subgroup, if you're talking about the level 4 growth, that top tier of growth, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And we don't have any data on. Okay. Closing gaps. This is where we felt the impact of that data. We are at an 85.7. We went down 14.2 points. So we were at a 99.
Mm.
And we would have been at 100
No.
if that one student didn't count.
Mhm.
And just to provide a little clarification on that SW subgroup, like in addition to that, the rules state that if the student qualifies as SWD any point in the school year, they are tagged as SWD. One of those 15 students, okay, one of them shouldn't have been qualified. One of them qualified on May 23rd. So they did not receive supports under special education for the entire school year. So this gives the impression that Mary Lynn has been working hard with with this number of students with disabilities all year, closing their gaps and working on their goals. That's just not true, right? And so Mary Lynn is certainly not the only school impacted by that, because kids qualify all the time for special education. So, it's those nuances. But you'll see here, the SWD is the only place we have a red flag. We've got green flags for all of our other subgroups. We met all of our improvement targets. You can see here the actual metrics. Our target was 90 for all of our subgroups except SWD, and we far outperformed all of them, which is awesome. Yes, for all subjects. So we outperformed ELA. Look at math. 100+ in every subgroup. Right? And this is once again those improvement targets, those growth targets. All right, and in science we didn't have really or any subgroups. Okay. So, and also I will say, once I found out that our single score was only going to go down from a 99 to a 95.5, and anything over 95 really is extraordinary. That's when I kind of felt better about not pursuing this rule change. But that doesn't mean I still don't think it should happen. I think that it absolutely should happen, but we'll encounter that when we have some time.
I like your
You gotta go
pen.
there. Yeah, girl,
That's like a gift. I don't have to go take.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I really like your pants.
That's me again,
Yeah, ballet today. I can't leap across the stage, but my pants can.
Cute.
I hope you're excited.
Holidays to y'all. You want to get some cookies to go? Yeah, I think so.
So this last component that we'll review before we're done is readiness. We somehow decreased 0.2 points, not, with just some little changes. I will say that our at or above grade level reading score is phenomenal. I think it might be the highest in the school district. Don't quote me on that. If not, it's very high. Because students are qualified as at or above grade level readers, regardless of their achievement level. So this isn't like a one-to-one with like beginning learner, developing learner, proficient, distinguished. It's not one-to-one. Students who score developing, who aren't quite at proficient, can still count as at or above grade readers. So that feels good to us, right? When we look at the data, we might have some students who didn't quite meet that proficient mark. They're in developing, but they might still be considered at or above grade readers, which is great. And we look at that data internally to know, when we're intervening, what kids need more support and what kids, need less. So yeah, at or above grade reading, this is that student attendance. Save those vacations for a break, please, because
It's pretty high.
it's very high. No, that's high. It's much higher than it's going to be this year.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm about to take it seriously with me.
I wonder if they lost network connection or something.
I feel like somehow we're the only ones here right now, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna close this and click the link again and see if they realize that, but I feel like we're wrapping up also, so.
Yeah, I think they might have,
Hope
some
you
network.
well, by the way. But yeah, there's something on their end. It's if I'm talking to you. Hey all, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if they can hear us.
I don't know if they can hear us, and it also looks like they're mute.
Of them, like whatever the plan said, that's what they're doing. So are there a lot that are getting?
I think there will be several schools that are.
Whoa, I didn't realize there was that many, but and then for the big town, it's to do that. It's
Hey,
to-
hey all,
It's based on East Bus.
we got
We'll wait.
us virtual attendees got dropped off.
But also
You're
enrollment
muted.
numbers
They
like
can't hear us.
them, based on demographic population data and so forth.
So they maybe not even have to do it.
And we will keep an eye on that. Yes, Casey Brock was voted in as our at-large APS representative. She takes office in January.
And it's at, what's her name, Briska Brown, that's who she's replacing.
Correct. She is retired as one of the longer standing APS board members. I think she's on the board for 12. Our next GOTY meeting is in January 27th, 2:45 here at Mary Lynn.
That I will have musical rehearsal, so I don't know, that will probably happen. Well, that might be both. Both been going for a little bit. by then.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask if we can bring treats to that meeting.
We
That's
can bring
important.
treats.
Addison,
Will
I
you
was
send
so
me a
disappointed that you were
reminder
absent.
about that?
Yeah.
You can't hear us, Addison?
No.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm talking now. Yes, okay. We got cut out.
Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
weird. That's a
Sorry, we were trying to get I was trying to get here to get the audio back up. So that was the last of our data.
dumb.
And we were just, he was talking about the cluster advisory team updates, which are none,
right.
except
Uh,
for the schools that are closing that you might have already heard of. And Addison is bringing treats, he said. Nice.
Okay, I think that wraps us up. Can I get a motion to adjourn? All
Motion to adjourn.
right, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting will adjourn at 4:10 PM.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank
Sorry about
you.
the issues, Park and Addison.